Hey y'all, it is June the 1st, 2018. Y'all, wanted to holler at y'all about a video that I just did a while back regarding the developments. That whole Parkland shooting and Nick Cruz, did he do it, investigation that we're covering. The other day I made remarks in regards to the latest developments in this case, which are moving about as slow as molasses in the wintertime. The latest developments was a very, very little small slice of evidence, very small, given to us. It was put on a little baby spoon and they zipped it to our mouths like an airplane. A little baby spoon was feeding us a little tidbit, and what it was these 3 videos that people have already seen. It's gone super viral, and people know what it is. They know what was said in that video, stuff like this. Now, as I said before, obviously it's going to be bad. That's why the prosecutor said it as evidence. Right, it certainly does look kind of bad, pretty well incriminating. No one's denying the words that were said on this video. I gotta bring up, it's kind of the topic of this video, this particular video. So I got a comment from a dear contributor, and this person, she asked me, so what will it take? Because we've been following Nick Cruz for a while, in Parkland and all this. So what will it really take, honestly, quite honestly? What will it take to get you to know that Nick Cruz is absolutely guilty? Alright. And this was said, obviously, after the new developments in a video, a few videos in which Nick Cruz is planning out or stating that he has a plan to shoot up the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. All right. So after all this developments, after all this evidence, scientific evidence we've been given that he's obviously the shooter, he's the lone shooter, what will it take to convince you that he's guilty? Just to be very brief, just to put it in one word, evidence. More evidence. 2 words. I would need more evidence, please. Like actual evidence. That's what I want. I want the actual evidence of what happened. Not what people are saying, because I've heard all sort of things. People saying all sort of things. Wild things. Talk about multiple shooters. All the rest of it. Alright? Wild things. I've heard people say wild things about this. I don't want, me personally, I don't care for what people are saying anymore. I've heard it all, and it's all wild. I want to see actual evidence, and you'll note that they're putting that off so long. It'll make you wonder just how long this could possibly be. Is it going to be years before we see any actual evidence? All right. To be very brief, just for example, probably the first example is, let's see some of that school footage. Want to see all of it, in fact. Want to see every last bit of it. School surveillance footage. You got to know that there's people who will pour through it here on the internet, and they will go over it and over and over it, and they will try and figure out what the hell's going on. Want to see that kind of evidence. I really do. The problem that we have, and we're going to continue to have, is that the question ain't even whether or not Nick Cruz is guilty. All right, that's hardly even the question anymore. The question most certainly is, are there other people who are guilty? All right, and quite certainly there are. All right, we already see right there on the surface of things all sort of articles, all sort of different testimonials talking about the Broward Sheriff's Office is completely dropping the ball, absolutely dropping the ball. Oh, what are we supposed to say? Oh man, y'all, you just had a rough day. No, that's not. See, people need to get arrested for this. People are all sort of guilty for this, and that's just on the surface. Who knows? I want to know. I want to know how many more people could possibly be guilty. We have heard from several different witnesses that there were others. There must have been another shooter. There had to have been another shooter. This shooter was dressed up like this. This shooter looked all different like this. I want to know how many people are guilty. That's really what this is all coming down to. Is how many people are guilty. Meanwhile, they keep spoon-feeding information. Spoon-feeding information. Meanwhile, just to get out of here, because just to address those three videos in which I saw those videos, those selfie videos that Nick Cruz took approximately the day of the shooting. I guess it would be at the same time. Who knows what times. We should know exactly what times that he made those videos. Exactly what time, because that data is out there. But let's just go over it, because the thing is, you find it on YouTube, you might see it, oh, chilling, oh, this is terrifying words from Nick Cruz. I mean, when you really think about it, when you really listen to that taped audio, sometimes visual, that Nick Cruz did, when you really, really, really listen to it, there's nothing chilling about it. It's not very startling at all. His tone of voice isn't really angry. It doesn't hardly sound angry. It sounds like he's reading it. That's not to say that he is reading the words. What I'm trying to get at is, for whatever reason, it sounds like there ain't even no emotion in what he's saying. He doesn't have any passion or anything like that. It sounds like he's just reading words. Hardly anything makes sense. Oh, I hate everything. I hate everybody. Oh, I hate everything and everybody. But I have an undying love for Angie. See, it's not adding up. It sounds like just something like he's playing a role. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it sounds like he's playing a role. Oh, I hate everybody, everyone, but you're going to know who I am. Please remember who I am, please. I love Angie so much. All right, who is Angie? I mean, to be real, to be very honest with you, who is Angie? Who is that? You're living in solitude, all sort of desperate solitude, but except you have an undying love for Angie, but you're not going to tell us who Angie is. Nobody knows who Angie is. The girl you were so-called obsessed with, who you probably weren't, her name was Dana. Right? It was not Angie. Who is Angie? Why isn't Angie talking to us? All sort of things that doesn't really even make any sense. Right? I hate everybody and everyone and stuff, and y'all gonna feel my wrath. Pew, 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 pew. I don't know who gets chilled by this. I don't know who gets terrified by what this little boy is saying. I'm not saying that people didn't get all shot up and down. I'm saying everything that took place after people getting shot up and down is extremely, wildly questionable. Why weren't the paramedics allowed to go in? Huh? How about that? How about that? What about those questions? Because that's just protocol. That's just policy. That's the way that it should happen. Paramedics should go running in the building. But however, they were told to stand down. Why is that? Because maybe what was happening inside the building couldn't be seen. It had to be a secret. Maybe because all that surveillance footage, that's also got to be a secret. All sort of things. I mean, that's the thing about it. We're really finding out who wants to know the truth and who just wants to hang up a little boy and call him guilty and just call it a day on that, close the book on that. It is a dividing line that's taking place. All right. Anyways, I'll holler at y'all a little bit later about some more stuff. And I'll definitely holler at y'all if we get any sort of evidence that Nick Cruz did it. All right. So I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.